At Sickle Cell Central, we believe that self-care and well-being are a shared responsibility between communities and services throughout social prescribing pathways. By harnessing the power of creativity, cultural messengers, and professional collaboration, we can deepen public understanding, strengthen trust, and improve the quality of cultural care. Our approach supports neighborhood research hubs for health equity that strengthen representation, communication, accountability, and assurance across services and community research ecosystems. Sickle Cell Central is a faith research network initiative.
Hello and welcome. I'm really pleased today we have T Poet. Madam T, how are you?
Greetings, Rudy. I'm very well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Good to be
good.
here.
Really good to see you again. T, before we get started, just tell us a bit about your personal and professional background.
Okay. Greetings all. Right, my name is Tunde, but everyone knows me as T. I answer to Eva. I currently work as a mentor for two organisations in South London, one Carnage Community and Free to Be Alliance. I work with both young people and adults, but I'll say anyone who's younger than me is a young person, so it don't matter. I help them the same way. The age is irrelevant. Um, I've been for real, yeah. Since I was a young person myself, I've always worked in somewhere with young people.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't even realize it was probably my calling, and I didn't know. But it's just something that I enjoy working and helping people. That's it, you know. So in my life, I've worked as I started off as a youth worker. That's where that background come. But I've done community work. I've worked in schools, within like children's homes, within people referral units. I've done outreach work,
Great.
football coaching, DJ, just like different. I'm a qualified chef. You have to just different hats, and you just
Sure.
put all these skills together. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a little. I'm also I've done lecturing as well in the past because I went back to uni and got a master's in psychology and at London South Bank, and then they said to me, "Yeah, so you can come and teach," and I was like, "Yeah, I could," so I did. So I did that for a
Excellent.
little while.
Excellent. Great, great, great. So, T, your poetry tackles powerful themes such as resilience, racial justice, equality, and self-care. What inspires your creative process, and how do you transform real-life experiences into poetry that connects with people?
Well, people like stories. From childhood. Stories back before there was TV. That's how messages got around through stories, music, songs, poetry, and it's a great way. Poetry is a powerful medium, you know what I mean, and a way to express the issues that you've raised. Um, they impact their societal issues, and they impact everybody differently. But every day, people are struggling with stuff, and the reason, like, I use poetry, it's a great outlet, and it's also I'm hoping to inspire other people to kind of pick up a pen. But if it's not a pen, then maybe you're an artist. You can, paint or draw. That's that creative bit, and that's another way to get the message out, like through music, through photography, all those kind of mediums that we need. A great way to express emotions that sometimes people feel like they can't express, or they're not allowed to express, or they don't know how to. You just need someone to kind of sow the seed and say, yeah,
Yeah.
you can do this, and your voice is valid. You know what I mean? And I'm just passionate about that. And it's also, I think, it's part of the healing process that we need, because many people go through all different kind of traumas. This life ain't easy. So
Mm.
yeah, that's where that comes from, I think. And
Okay.
yeah, the
Of course,
emotions, you've got to be able to put them somewhere
yeah,
positive.
absolutely. And of course, you're giving people confidence as well, aren't you? So,
Yeah, and sorry, it's also to give them the
yeah.
permission, or just to say everyone's got their lived experience, they've got
Mm.
their life experiences, and to give them the permission to share that if they want to. There's no pressure to share with anybody else. Sometimes it's about sharing it with yourself first. You know what I mean?
That's very true. So the title, Joy and Pain Babes, with 3 exclamation marks, immediately captures attention. What is the story behind the title, and what message do you hope readers take away from this collection?
Okay, for people who know me, they'll understand the babe part because I call everybody babe. Sometimes I don't even realize I said it, but it's such a beautiful word, you know. So that's the babe part. But joy and pain, right? On the cover of the book, you got a big sunshine and you got like a cloudy storm, like the rain. And growing up in the 80s, Frankie Beverly and Maze, yeah, joy and pain, and it was like sunshine and rain. And I thought, boy, that's really how life is. You have the joys, he's like, yeah, this is, and then like the next word, you know.
Yeah.
And but I think, yeah, life is a bit like a roller coaster, most definitely. But we have to kind of like hold on to those joys or find those moments of joy through the pain. And pain, I talk about subjects that are quite painful.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to talk about them so people realize that it's not only them. Not every thing I talk about is something it's about me, but it's my experiences or things I've seen or like the young people I've worked with who are, for me, inspirational. So just hearing what they say, talking to them, listening to people, reading stuff. That's kind of like how the poetry comes together. And the joy and pain. There's a poem in the book, and the title is Joy and Pain, and it's about the subject of domestic violence. So I talk about things like that, and in the majority of, I think, yeah, in all of my poems, I would say there is a message. If people may receive it differently, but there's definitely a message in there, or like a way for people to reach out or have that honest conversation with somebody. Because there's some subjects you can't like. Yeah, I've got a poem in there about going on holiday. That's easy to talk about, you know. I mean, easier to talk about. You can sit down and say, "Yeah, man, I went to France the other week," or it was beautiful. But you can't have that same situation. Oh, um, with regard to like domestic violence, you don't just sit and have a cup of tea and talk about it just so easily. That's an emotive subject, so that's a way to kind of maybe bring it into the conversation or allow someone to express how they're feeling through poetry. Um,
As you told us earlier,
yeah, I think
that
that's cool.
yeah, as you told us earlier that you work closely with young people, particularly through mentoring. How has your experience supporting young people influenced your writing, and how do you use creativity as a tool for empowerment and personal growth?
I think mentorship is about being creative. A lot of the stuff I do or mentors do is on a one-to-one, and it's out in the community. So you have to be resourceful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for me, my greatest resource is my voice, and my pen and paper, because those things have never failed me yet. And so for me, it's about encouraging creativity with our young people, because I think, or to find their thing. I think everyone has their thing. It's about finding it.
Yeah.
It could be sport, it could be art, it could be horse riding, it could be paragliding, I don't know, ice skating, but through conversation and through listening to what they're saying and encouraging them maybe to try things they haven't even thought about. That's the kind of mentorship and encouraging them. And through poetry, I guess it's kind of like there's a vulnerability there, and it's showing them that I'm human too, and it's okay to be vulnerable, but you provide that safe space for them so they can be vulnerable, and also to provide the time for reflection. But for me, the most important thing is like listening. And sometimes, they think, no one's listening to me, I have no voice. they feel disempowered. So it's about providing the tools for them and make them, they know that their voice has power, and to empower them to use their voice, and just like using different techniques. Poetry is one, but just hearing them and just encouraging them, because they've been sometimes, I think sometimes the creativity is like crushed out of our young people. I have to put it like that. Or they're told, oh, your art ain't good enough. And it's like you can never tell someone that, because that's coming from their heart, you know. And so for me, it's just continually encouraging them and showing them. And one of the things like mentorship is like, sometimes, like I would say, like I'm a farmer, I sow a seed. Sometimes you don't see it grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you never get to know how this person has done. You just hope that they've done well, and they've taken those tools and they've gone on and done some stuff. But
Mm.
I work in the local community, so I feel like I'm blessed. So I've seen some of these children, young people, growing to like big people, and
Mhm.
it's brilliant to see um how they've developed. It's not all great. There's some people who are still like struggling a little bit, but yeah, I know they'll find a way. I have faith they'll find their way. But I worked with a young person, and 2 years ago, they wouldn't have done what they've done now. And like they're a poet, but they're very shy and they're introverted, but they're still an introvert. But to see them write a poem and come with me to an open mic and get up on the stage, I was like a proud mom. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. That for me, that's what mentoring's about. And doesn't turn around in a week. I'll spend 2 years. For some, it takes longer. Sometimes 2 years before you even get to know like what they like. But you need to be patient, and that's the key.
Yeah, that's
And
very
you know what,
important.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead.
Um, Someone asked me what I do, or what does a mentor do? What is and it's like we like key workers. So I wrote a poem, which is what I do, yeah. And I kind of like I write all different kind of poems, but I like acrostic poems because there's normally a message. The message is in the poem, right?
Yeah.
So this little poem here is about key workers, and this is what we do: killing negative stereotypes and myths, whilst befriending, building trust, and also understanding, empathetic, effectively listening, empowering, focusing on their strengths, and for our young people, explore with them what's happening. You get to practice what you preach, demonstrate perseverance, and constantly learn as well as teach with patience, working in a non-judgmental way, consistently with flexibility, reliability, and a positive mentality. Opportunities created, life skills developed, and voices given to those who feel their words are falling on deaf ears. Relationships formed, self-esteem enhanced, positive role modeling demonstrated, with a safe space provided to share their triumphs and fears. Keeping set boundaries, being honest, supportive and accessible, but knowing deep down that you can't help everyone. Each person with different levels of confidence has their own potential to reach. Each journey is unique, and for some, it's just begun. Repairing harm, finding ways forward, and providing up to date information, advice, and guidance are essentially key. Signposting shared lived experiences, supporting our young children, young adults, young people for the long term, and doing so unconditionally. Key workers, that's what we do.
That's great, and you really deal with the challenges of life that other people are going through. So, as a final question, and you've touched on it, so you balance poetry, mentoring, community work, and even football discussions on the radio. So, so tell us, how do these different parts of your life inspire each other, and where do you find the creativity to keep developing new ideas?
Well, I think they're all connected. All those things, they're all a part of me, you know.
Right.
I think I was born with a pen in my hands and football boots on my feet. That's how I came into the world already. I was already kicking in the womb, babe. I was born to play football, you know. Um, and I think, and these are things I'm passionate about, and I try to share them with other people,
Yeah.
either to encourage them, educate them, or find out their passions and stuff like that. I'd like to involve people, and poetry and football is little communities, and it's that sense of belonging, and
Absolutely.
just to show people, you know, and also to inspire people. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it.
Mhm.
Like I play football and I also play walking football because I love football, right? So one of the guys that walk football and he is now a poet, but he will say that it's that I inspired him to write poetry, which I think, you know what I mean, that fills me with joy. I think, yeah, my job is done. Cool. You know,
Excellent.
just like having that, and like I say, opening up that conversation um after the game, talking to people. You go to a poetry event, you're networking, you're talking, you're getting out and about, which I think is even so much more key, especially following COVID when we were locked down
Yeah.
and people was living in isolation, conversations was limited. So we need to get back into communicating, reading, using our voices. Um,
Absolutely. I mean, that's how we met. You
that's
were
it.
doing that,
That's it.
and you really held the audience, and you got a big response for the audience. So T, if somebody wants to connect with you, where and how do they do it?
Okay. So there's a few ways. I'm very bad, right, at social media, but I'm learning. So I'm on
Yeah.
Instagram, and when I'm posting, but not very regularly. But so I need to get better at that. But I'm on there as Free Thinker 68. So people are free as in it don't cost nothing because one of the few things that don't cost yet is our thoughts. Yeah. So you can go in there. Um, I do attend because I'm passionate about health.
Yeah,
Okay, and
and
so I
you're a
do
member of
attend.
you're a member of the Sickle Cell Alliance, and you're a part of all of that team as well, aren't you? In terms of connections.
Yeah. So I'm passionate about health, especially sickle cell. And so I talk about, I try to talk about that, um, educate myself as well, because we need to keep learning, spreading the word. Um, that's like I say, like you said about the poetry, and it's like in my local community, just been able to especially talk to my young people about certain things that is important to them, or they have they need to have the correct information about so that they're better informed about
Oh,
certain things. That is so key.
exactly. So just remind us again, it's Free Thinker,
Free Thinker 68. That's on
Free
Instagram.
Thinker
Thinker.
68 on Instagram. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm also
Yes, go ahead.
I have if people want to see my work, buy my work, it's on sale at the Women's Resource Centre online shop. And the reason I plug it is because like it's there to support with. So every sale, a
Good.
little percentage of the money goes to women to support women's businesses, so to empower women as well. So I just have to keep doing
Yeah,
those things.
absolutely. And just to remind us again, it's called the Women's Resource.
Women's Resource Centre, the
Women's.
online shop is WRC. If you Google that,
Yeah,
you'll find that WRC on there.
great. So thank
And
you.
I don't know how much time we've got, Rudy, but
I mean, if there's something else you'd like to say just before we go,
because
no
like
problem.
one of the things that how we met was through sickle cell. Okay, going to the sickle cell events, And it's like through, and people say like, how do you write your poems sometimes? And it's through listening to people and hearing, and it's something I'm passionate about. Sometimes that phrase will ignite the pen and I'll start writing and something will come out. Yeah. So if it's time, almost time for us to leave, I'll do one poem, and it's that I did because I was at the Chelsea event. I was at the event at Chelsea with sickle cell and like thriving into adulthood. So this little poem, bear with me. Like I said, yeah, I like a poem that's got like a little message going down the side there, acrostic. And if I've got the right one, I will do that for you right now. Because what we something that we hear about a lot, yeah, is like you need to be resilient. And it's not like you can go down to Tesco's or Sainsbury's and buy resilience. It don't come in a bottle. So this is resilience. Rising up despite knocking us down. Even when things get hard, you bounce back and turn around that frown. Stress and trauma have been in our lives, but that doesn't define who we are or our ability. It's about adapting to the adversity, living with flexibility. Ideas about which positive coping skills you can use to help you move forward at your own pace. Everyone reacts to difficult situations differently. And as humans, we have to know we wear more than one face. Never compare or underestimate what someone else has been through. Confidence, competence, and connection with a sense of security created, then you realize it's not only you. Experiences shared, lessons learned, and obstacles overcome, strategies developed, skills built, knowing when to ask for help, and learning to say no without feeling guilt. Resilience.
Great. So thanks for that. T Poet, free thinker, free thinker 68 on
Yeah, that's
Instagram,
me.
and the Women's Resource Centre online, WRC. You can just search that and buy your work. So great to see you. Take care. Catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Really, thank you very much.